Can Texas State follow up their big win over UTSA with a win over Arizona State? They're hosting the Wildcats later tonight. It's Locked On Sunbelt.
You are Locked On Sunbelt, your daily podcast on the Sunbelt Conference, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome back to another edition of Locked On Sunbelt, your team every day. I'm your host, Dave Schultz. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Now through September 22nd, all FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. All right, big ball games tonight, and we'll preview a little bit for the rest of the weekend. We'll have a full preview, of course, for Friday's episode, and we may, rumors have it, and I'm perpetuating those rumors, we may have a coach join us for Friday's episode as well. We'll talk about a little South Alabama and Northwestern State in the second segment, but let's talk about this big Texas State ball game. This is a nationally televised ball game. It's on ESPN. It is 7:30 Eastern time, I believe. Yes. And this is a great chance for G.J. Kinney, although I think they were on TV last week, maybe on the U early on. But this is a nationally televised game, and we'll be going up against the NFL. I get it, but it's the only college game on TV. South Alabama is streamed on ESPN+. It's a great opportunity for the Sun Belt. It's a great opportunity for Texas State. Some reason they are underdogs in this ball game, which is a little bit strange. We'll get into that. But this is the thing I've been but highlighting would be a better way of putting it throughout the fall, summer, fall camp, and now that the season is here, that the Sun Belt has to take has to take advantage of these opportunities. App State could not. Texas State did against UTSA, although that's not kind of the same level as the opportunity we're talking about. You got to beat that Power 4 team. ODU had a chance to do it, couldn't. So there have been opportunities, and so far, the Sun Belt has not taken advantage of them. A little history on Arizona State. They were not very good last year. Not very good at all. They had 3 wins last year. They already have 2 this year. They got a transfer, quarterback transfer, Sam Leavitt from Michigan State. He is a redshirt freshman. He played in a few ball games as a true freshman, and he got the starting job at Arizona State. He could be there for a minute, depending on how it goes. And, he's been playing okay. 24 of 42, hasn't passed it a whole lot. 24 of 42 for 327 yards, 2 touchdowns. Again, hasn't played, against Mississippi State last week. He wasn't particularly good, but they won. 10 out of 20 for 69 yards. Did not throw an interception. And against Wyoming, he was 14 to 22, 258 yards, throwing for almost 64% completion percentage and 2 touchdowns. So he's getting his experience for the first time, if you will, as a starting quarterback in major college football. So you have this redshirt freshman lining up against the defending, so to speak, Sun Belt Player of the Year, right? Obviously, they're not going head-to-head that way since they're both the quarterbacks, but you do have a ton of experience with Jordan McLeod versus Sam Leavitt just getting his feet wet as a starter playing college football. And again, it is odd. I just feel like there's a bias, although they beat, I don't know how much of a win over Mississippi State at home is. They beat Mississippi State, was it 30 to 27? Is that what I saw here? I'm sorry, 30 to 23. Okay. And Sam was a total, again, 10 out of 20 for 69 yards. If you compare it, Jordan McLeod in 2 ball games, 39 of 57 for 547 yards, 5 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. One of those interceptions came on the first series against UTSA. They do have a pretty good running back in Scatabo. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. Cam Scatabo, or Scatibo, it could be even. He is doing a pretty good job. He's averaging 7 yards carry, so that'll work. 44 carries, 311 yards, although he does have just 1 touchdown, has caught 4 passes out of the backfield. And we'll see how they do it. They used to have previews that we could check out the numbers so far, but on how the teams are doing, there's only two games thus far. So, and they didn't give up nearly as many points against Wyoming, 48-7 in a win. So, again, Arizona State hasn't been very good as of late, although they are 2-0 this year. They do have a Power 4 win already over Mississippi State. Not sure how good Mississippi State is going to be this year. Whereas Texas State struggled with Lamar, right? Had them at half and had to fend them off in the second half and totally dominated UTSA. Not that they should have to, but it's a great opportunity for Texas State to put the Sun Belt on their shoulders and promote the Sun Belt with a win over Arizona State. I guess I'd be shocked because Vegas usually isn't that wrong if this was a blowout, although they may have been wrong with that 49-10 ball game. Yes, Texas State was favored by 2.5. They got that one wrong. So I'd be shocked if Texas State blows out Arizona State. I certainly think they should win the football game. I think they're probably better than Arizona State. They have the experience. Arizona State might, not that I've watched a whole lot of Arizona State football lately, might have a few more athletes because being Power 4. But again, they just have not been very good for, I think, a little bit. Again, they were 3-9 in 23. Let's see what they were in 2022. 3-9. 2021, they were 8-4. In the regular season, they lost a 20-13 ball game to Wisconsin. So in the last 2 seasons, they've won a grand total of 6 ball games. Now in the last 3 seasons, with the 2 this year, they've won a grand total of 8 ball games. So again, there has not been a whole lot of great history as of lately for Arizona State. I think Texas State's going to win this football game. I don't have any reason to not believe that. It'll be interesting to see if there comes that point in time where, is G.J. Kinney going to kick it, or is he going to go for it? We shall see. It should be a whale of a ball game, and this is a great opportunity for the nation if they haven't seen it before. Remember, last year they beat Baylor. Not sure if that was on national TV. It was certainly opening night. I'm going to guess it was on some sort of TV, but probably not ESPN per se. And this is where those opportunities, you got to take advantage of the opportunities when they are presented to you. All right, let's take a timeout. When we come back, we'll preview the other football game that is happening tonight. South Alabama taking on Northwestern State. Can the Jags get that much needed victory on a short week? Let me tell you about Factor Meals and FanDuel. Fuel up with Factor's no prep, no mess meals. Meet your wellness goals thanks to the menu of chef-crafted meals with options like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, and Keto. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are dietitian approved and ready to eat in just 2 minutes. So no matter how busy you are, you'll always have time to enjoy nutritious, great tasting meals. Make today the day you kickstart a new healthy routine. What are you waiting for? With 35 different meals and more than 60 add-ons to choose from every week, you'll always have new flavors to explore. Crush your wellness goals with dietitian-approved meals and ingredients that you can trust. Make your day delicious. From breakfast to dessert, stay fueled with easy, nutritious options. Treat yourself to restaurant-quality meals that feature premium ingredients like filet mignon, shrimp, and blackened salmon. Keep kitchen time to a minimum. Factor meals are ready in just 2 minutes. No shopping, prepping, cooking, or cleaning up. Enjoy effortless support for your lifestyle. Choose from 6 different preferences to help you manage calories, maximize protein intake, avoid meat, or simply eat well balanced. Head to factormeals.com/LockedOnCollege50 and use code LockedOnCollege50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month. That's code LockedOn50 at factormeals.com/LockedOnCollege50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is active. And FanDuel. You've heard us talk a lot about FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Well, we'll have something a little different for you now. Now through September 22nd, all FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Then, with a YouTube TV base plan, you'll be able to watch every regular season Sunday afternoon out-of-market game. All you need is a Google account and a current form of payment, and you can cancel at any time. And if that's not enough, be sure to check out FanDuel's Profit Boost in the app and use it for FanDuel's Double Your Winnings for all of Sunday, September 15th. Pre-game moneyline bets. Profit Boost will be live starting Thursday, September 12th. View your account page now to learn more about your boost. Visit FanDuel.com. Download America's #1 sportsbook. We'll get to the betting lines here in week 3 momentarily. All right, Dave Schultz, Locked On Sunbelt, your team every day. Talked about the opportunity, that Texas State has to go to 3-0. Both teams, by the way, Arizona State and Texas State are 2-0. So great opportunity for Texas State to get to 3-0, probably get into the top 25, or certainly recognize to be close thereof with a win. On the other side of things, you have 0-2 South Alabama, and they are coming off a short week. Got embarrassed a little bit by North Texas in week 1. Went with Bishop Davenport, the backup quarterback, in week 2. And they're trying to get some guys back. Running back Braylon McReynolds, quarterbacks Ricky Fletcher and Reggie Neely, and quarterback Gio Lopez were among the starters who missed the Ohio game, and all are at least questionable for this week. That's from Craig Stevenson, AL.com. And he was told by Major Applewhite, and was reported by Craig, that Gio is supposed to be back. Again, turf toe is tough to come back from. If he did it just about a week ago, maybe 10 days ago now, I think they said he did it in the game against North Texas. It just doesn't heal, right? And you irritate it every time, aggravate it every time you move it, basically. And the only thing that heals the turf toe is basically time. And he's going to have to deal with pain, and they're going to have to manage that if he's going to want to play. This is a big ball game for South Alabama. Again, they have this really hard schedule that, they have not, that's coming up. And they just haven't, played very well as of yet. All right. Some people commented they're not surprised that North Texas put those kind of points up. I'm a little bit surprised. They played well at points. The defense did get better against Ohio. Had a chance to tie things up in the final minutes and could not move the ball at all. Now they get Northwestern State. You know what's coming after that? Then they got to go to Boone a week from today to take on App State. Then they come back to the Gulf Coast and play LSU. And then after that, they get Arkansas State in Jonesboro. Yeehaw. So they definitely need this one because they have 3 ridiculously hard road games where they will be underdogs in every single one of them. Now, if the defense can play a little bit better, or the way that it did against Ohio, although Craig pointed out that instead of the big plays, they gave up, a couple long touchdown drives. They did to make it take it right before the half and right after the half. And as Will Wyndham said, it was a 10-10 ball game. And by the time the offense got back on the field, it was 24-10. So the defense needs to make some more adjustments. They did a good job of adjusting from the week before, less explosive plays. But they need to make sure they're playing as well as they can be, because App State's going to be tough regardless of what happened against Clemson. LSU, we think, will be tough. They got South Carolina this I don't know what they have in 2 weeks, but they got South Carolina this week, but it's in 2 weeks where they'll be playing LSU. And then they get Arkansas State. And again, they will be underdogs, double-digit underdogs, probably in each one of those ball games, I would think, depending on what those teams do. I guess if LSU loses to South Carolina, that may change things. So we'll see. But important to get Gio Lopez back, get him back in the groove. I don't know if you can manage the way he plays, less running plays. The problem is that's part of his game, right? He had over 500 yards of offense, now more than 400 yards passing, in his season debut a couple weeks ago. But if you take his legs away from him because he's got a hurt toe, which again, those are painful. I don't mean to minimize turf toe. Those are ridiculous. It's not Shannon Sharp was in the news yesterday for reasons you can find out. We won't discuss here. But his brother Sterling, for those who don't know, was this great wide receiver for the Green Bay Packers. And I remember, and this is when Brett Favre was just starting. I remember one year, Sterling Sharp did not practice because he had turf toe. He'd play in the games, but just didn't practice. He was still had a phenomenal season. The thing about that one is that they didn't have any help. He didn't even have any other wide receivers. He's getting double teamed and still getting open. But he wouldn't practice all week long. At least that's what it was reported on TV, and then play in the games. I don't think you can do that as a second-year college football player, and a quarterback got to practice compared to an all-pro wide receiver in the NFL. But the point is, turf toe is too painful to do a lot of things. So we'll see how effective he is running. I would presume South Alabama is going to win that ball game. A line will come out sometime during today. So it's probably already out if you want to check that out on FanDuel. All right, let's take a time out. Let's check out the other lines. We won't do a full preview. We will do more of that on Friday's episode, depending on how long we go with the coach that is supposed to join us. We will see if that happens. Forget about the jinx. All right. We supposedly have a coach coming on. I'm not going to say who. And we're looking forward to it. So it should be a great conversation. But I'm going to start that rumor and perpetuate it. All right. All right. Let's take a time out. When we come back, we'll look at the betting lines, kind of an early preview for week number 3. We will do that right after I tell you about LinkedIn. When you're hiring for your small business, you want to find quality professionals that are right for the role. That's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs has the tools to help find the right professionals for your team faster and for free. LinkedIn isn't just another job board. LinkedIn helps you hire professionals you can't find anywhere else, even those who aren't actively searching for a new job but might be open to the perfect role. In a given month, over 70% of LinkedIn users don't visit other leading job sites. So if you're not looking on LinkedIn, you're looking in the wrong place. On LinkedIn, 86% of small businesses get a qualified candidate within 24 hours. Hire professionals like a professional on LinkedIn. LinkedIn knows that small businesses are wearing so many hats and might not have the time or resources to hire. LinkedIn is constantly finding ways to make the process easier. They even just launched a new feature that helps you write job descriptions, making the process even easier and quicker. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/LockedOnCollege. That's linkedin.com/LockedOnCollege to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. All right, Dave Schultz, Locked On Sunbelt, your team every day. Let's look at those FanDuel betting lines for week number 3. Again, a little bit of an early preview, so to speak. We'll do much more of an in-depth preview for Friday's episode, along with hopefully our coach that is allegedly joining us. All right, our talk about an opportunity. Arkansas State is going to the Big House. They're going to take on Michigan. I'm not sure how good Michigan is. All right, they were playing Texas. Texas is one of the best teams in the country. They're playing them at home. I'm just not sure how good Michigan is. All right, Michigan is favored by 23.5. I mean, do we put a little bit on Arkansas State and put a little bit on the money line? Because why not? All right, we'll see what the money line is when it comes out. But I mean, I would certainly believe that they could do it. I'm one of those believers that I haven't seen anything good for Michigan yet. Like, Michigan to me should not be ranked in the top 25. They probably shouldn't have been ranked in the top 25 to begin with, but I would not have ranked them in the top 25. Certainly not after the two games that they played, barely getting past Fresno and Fresno State, and not looking good at all against Texas. Now, again, the money line is Michigan's minus 2,100. Arkansas State is plus 1,100. For those who don't know, that means if you put 11, it's 11 to 1 odds. If Arkansas State pulls off the major upset, you put down $100, which I won't. I'll put down maybe 10, but then I would win $110. So that's what it would be. If you put down $100, you would win the $1,100. So careful with that, but that's what that money line is. Obviously, Michigan's going to be bigger and faster and stronger than Arkansas State, but they also haven't played very well so far this year. Coastal is at Temple. They are a 17.5-point favorite. Temple is just not very good. Coastal off to a very good start. Vasco, 409 yards, 2 touchdowns, just the 1 interception. Heading into the year, I thought this would be a shot. Iowa is 1-1. They're hosting Troy. Troy's 0-2, and we don't know if Goose Crowder is going to play or not. We'll find out more about that coming up on Friday, but that may be a game time decision anyway. Iowa put up, 40 points in week 1 and let a big fourth quarter lead get away last week against Iowa State. If Troy was playing a little bit better and Goose Crowder was going to start, I'd go with Troy, but Troy isn't playing very well. It's going to be a tough one to go after Iowa, minus 22. App State is at East Carolina. See if they can bounce back. East Carolina is 2-0, but App State is your 2.5-point favorite. All right. Let's see if App State can do what Texas State did, although Texas State didn't lose per se, or even Georgia Southern. That's the good. That's the better example. Georgia Southern, who gave up all those points to Boise State, although they were ahead at one point in time. See if App State can put that game behind them and take down the East Carolina Pirates. Old Dominion hosting Virginia Tech. Huge ball game for ODU. We'll see who the quarterback is for the Monarchs. It was Grant Wilson the last couple of weeks. He just has not been able to avoid the mistakes. They very easily could be 2-0 instead of 0-2. Virginia Tech with a tough loss against Vanderbilt, losing overtime, but then handled Marshall in the second half last week. Georgia Southern 1-1. They're coming back home. They're going to take on South Carolina State. That line will come out later in the week. Georgia State hosting Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt looking to go 3-0. They are a 10.5-point favorite against Dell McGee's Georgia State Panthers. We'll see if Vanderbilt can keep it up. I mean, when was the last time Vanderbilt had a 3-game winning streak? I would think maybe the Jay Cutler days. We'd have to go back. And Southern Miss is hosting South Florida. That's going to be a tough one. Southern Miss hasn't played very well this year. They did get a win last week against Southeastern, pulling away in the second half 35-10. South Florida was in that ball game against Alabama on Saturday, and the score makes it look like a blowout, but it really wasn't. In fact, they had a chance to tie, I think in the third quarter. I guess in the fourth quarter, they had a chance to get it to where, I think, again, it was tied, but they kicked a field goal instead. Yeah, it was 21-13, so they would have needed a 2-point conversion. It was 21-13, and South Florida decided to kick a field goal, and it went to 21-16, then 28-16, then 35-16, and then 42-16. So it slipped away very, very quickly from South Florida. We will see what Southern Miss can do. What did I say the line was? Let me see. I don't think I did say what the line was. Let's see here. The line is South Florida is favored by 11 in Hattiesburg. That's a tough spot. This is a tough spot. Again, Tate Rodemaker's got to play better. Only 305 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He just has not played very well so far this year. Against Kentucky, 13 of 19 for 126 yards, 2 interceptions. And then against Southeastern, who Tulane demolished, 18 out of 32, 179 yards, a couple of touchdowns, but only 18 out of 32 is only completing 56 yards passing, or 56%. Going to have to do better than that. That was acceptable back in the day. It's not. It's like anything less than 60% isn't good. And, when you're looking for it, it's like 65 is what you're looking for these days, somewhere between 60 and 65, which is very good, but that's what the good quarterbacks are doing. All right. Want to thank you for tuning in. We are over 1,440 subscribers. Thank you so much. We're having a great week. The videos are getting views. The videos are getting views. Yeah, the videos are getting views. We appreciate it. Again, we'll see if the coach will join us for Friday's episode. Maybe I'll tweet out a hint on who that coach may be. Let me put it this way. It won't be a surprise who the coach is. That could go a bunch of different ways. The way we've been talking about surprises here lately. All right. Again, thanks so much for tuning in. I'm your host, Dave Schultz. You've been watching and listening to Locked On Sunbelt, your team every day.